Yeah, 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 yeah. I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I could think of. God, till the day I keep the ink up. In my priority.
What's up, YouTube? Today, we will be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. But before we jump into it, I wanted to send a quick shout out to Jaden Robson listening up there in Canada. Thank you so much for being a listener. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
It's funny, even the story of Isaac Newton. So how did he discover gravity? Well, of course, he was sitting under a tree and an apple hit him on the head. Children, can I explain to you this? He already knew things fell down. Everybody knows things fall to the ground. That is not how he came up with the theory of gravity. The apple is symbolic of the tree. Once again, the tree of knowledge and good and evil. If you actually look up the old Apple logos, the very first ones, it's literally Isaac Newton sitting under the tree. So what did they change that logo to? An apple with a bite out of it. You guys understand what that means? Do you remember when they sold the first Apple computer and it was $666.66? Do you think these are coincidences? No, that is what they're telling you without telling you.
What if I told you the reason you feel temptations for certain things and certain sins is very specific to what you're supposed to do?
Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
So if you have the urge to smoke or damage your lungs, it's because your voice was made to worship. The enemy's trying to silence you that was meant to praise. If you have crippling self-doubt or insecurity, it's because you're meant to lead and inspire. If you weren't dangerous to darkness, it wouldn't try to mute your confidence. Yeah. If you have constant distraction and procrastination, it's because you carry strategy, vision, and ideas from heaven. The enemy delays you because he can't stop you. Only you can. Now, this one's gonna hit a lot of people. Okay. If you have an addiction to lust or pornography, it's because you carry a deep capacity for intimacy, covenant, and healing. Perverting love is how Satan prevents true restoration.
That's true.
Crazy. Yeah. If you have fear of rejection or abandonment, it's because you carry a spirit of belonging and reconciliation. You were made to gather the outcasts. So he tries to make you feel like one.
Damn.
You have an obsession with appearance or body image. It's because you're meant to reflect God's glory, not the world's standards. So he's gonna try to get you to hate your image.
Damn. It's bars though.
If you're drawn to witchcraft, astrology, or manifestation, it's because you have a prophetic gift meant for God's kingdom. The enemy counterfeits your gift to keep you out of alignment. If you struggle with overspending or greed, it's because you're meant to be a kingdom financer. So he wants to keep you broke so you can never bless others.
Follow for more hoop conspiracy theories.
That was a very interesting point of view. It kind of makes me think of, there's a saying that says that when you ask for God for patience, he's going to send you things to test your patience and to create that patience. It just seems like the reverse perspective from the point of view of the devil. But it seems like the same entity or the same pattern where you're going to be tested in the disciplines in which you must excel. So it's very interesting. Do you guys see that parallel within this? Do you guys think it makes sense? Do you see yourself as one of these archetypes? And if so, let me know down below which one. And let's keep on rocking.
It's interesting, if you study history, all of the ancient civilizations, the Babylonians, the Sumerians, the Greeks, they all are the Chinese. They just arose out of nowhere. Poof, there's a civilization. There's no evidence of this stuff they teach in school, of them going from hunters and gatherers and grunts and groans, caveman stuff, becoming civilized and building cities. There's no evidence of that. The farther back you go, it's all of a sudden, poof, there's the beginning of the Egyptian civilization, the beginning of the Chinese civilization, just like they moved in and built it in less than 100 years. So some strange things have been found in the fossils, as in the ground, that would indicate man used to be really smart. This little airplane, for instance, is in the Smithsonian, I believe. It was found in a grave in Colombia. It's about 1,000 years old. But it's an airplane, quite obviously, with all the features of an airplane. They knew about flight. In Peru, they've got giant stone walls like the one in the picture here. These stone walls are phenomenal. Some of the rocks in there are so huge, we can't even move them today. How did they move that? Who Who did it and how did they do it? I don't think it's logical to say ancient man was primitive. They must have known something we don't know today.
I think it's just going to get weird.
It's very interesting to see all the inconsistencies in the megalithic structures. But one theory that I heard about those types of walls, like the one that we just saw that he said, how did they move that? Was the idea that they might have like made bags and filled the bags with a geopolymer, which is like basically a cement type of thing. And then through the hardening process and with time, the bag disappears. And so the structure remains the same and everything is stuck together because basically, you know, the rocks had time to settle in and to stick each other. And then as the bags disappear, it sort of creates that rock. Have you guys ever heard of that theory? You guys think it makes sense? Do you guys think there's another explanation? I know that there's always the camp of the ancient aliens. Me personally, I don't really abide to any of that. Do you guys have any ideas on how we came to build these megalithic structures and move those huge rocks? If so, let me know down below if you have any rabbit holes I could go down. And if not, let's keep on rocking.
Weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation. The mushroom said to me once, it said, "This is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse." And that's what we have, the fire in the madhouse at the end of time. This is what it's like when a species prepares to move on to the next dimension.
The world is not what you have been told. We once had access to free energy, and they've been lying to us ever since. There is significant evidence showing that Nikola Tesla was on course to changing our universe forever. In the early 1900s, Tesla developed a technology called the Wardenclyffe Tower. This was more than just a transmission tower. Tesla designed it so it was able to wirelessly transmit electricity across the globe by harnessing the Earth's natural energy. He was able to power his home and devices without a single wire. But here is where it gets dark. Tesla's invention threatened powerful individuals who controlled the energy market. J.P. Morgan, who initially funded Tesla, pulled the plug on the project when he realized that free energy couldn't be metered or monetized. But it gets even stranger. Tesla's lab mysteriously burnt down, and many of his notes and prototypes disappeared. Tesla's discoveries went beyond just wireless electricity. He hinted at tapping into what he called radiant energy, a limitless source of power derived from the very fabric of space itself, similar to what modern scientists refer to as zero-point energy. Many say that this is also how the Tartarians were able to pull off so many of their technological and architectural feats. Do you think this tower is still in use today?
This is gonna keep you up while you sleep tonight. The hollow moon theory. Our moon really doesn't make sense when you look at the facts. Like, it shouldn't exist. The moon is about 25% of Earth's size, the biggest moon to planet ratio of our entire solar system. Pluto's not a planet, that doesn't count. That's 72 times larger than the expected average moon to planet ratio of our solar system. Moons are just not supposed to be this big relative to their home planet, but sure, maybe we got lucky. Despite this, the moon is only 1% of Earth's mass. 1%, meaning it is way lighter than it's expected to be, and we really don't even know why. Unless, of course, the moon is either extremely porous like a sponge or a hollow shell. When looking at this data, NASA's own Dr. Gordon McDonald even said himself it would seem that the moon is more like a hollow than a homogeneous sphere. But oh, that's just the tip and we ain't stopping. Our moon's orbit is way closer than that of any of the other over 400 moons in our solar system, and also has a near perfectly circular orbital path. We don't see this on any other planet, which all have moons with wildly eccentric orbits. Our moon also coincidentally appears as the exact same size as the sun in our sky. Despite our sun having a diameter 400 times larger than the moon just so happens to be exactly 400 times closer to us, defying all odds of randomness, but is officially deemed just a cosmic coincidence. The moon also happens to be tidally locked with our planet, meaning its rotational period is the same as its orbital period around the Earth, which is why the same side is always facing us. This one is not so much a coincidence, as tidally locked moons are actually fairly common in our solar system. But it would also be the perfect excuse for the moon to always look the same in our sky and for us to never see what's on the other side, like an all-seeing eye that never ceases surveillance of our planet. We don't even know for sure how our moon even got there in the first place. The most common explanation is that the early Earth collided with a massive protoplanet called Theia about 4.5 billion years ago, which was thought to be roughly the size of Mars, and the impact caused the resulting debris to coalesce and eventually form the moon. This is known as the giant impact theory. There's also the fission hypothesis, where an early molten Earth was spinning so fast that a part of it got ejected out into space and became the moon. The capture theory, implying the moon just drifted by Earth and was captured by its gravity. And the accretion theory, suggesting that as the early Earth was forming in its accretion disk, a part of that disk clumped together to become the moon. But when studying rock samples from the surface of the moon, we find out that none of these theories quite make any sense, with other NASA scientists like Dr. Robin Brett further quoted as saying, "It seems much easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than its existence. Like on Earth, the newest rocks are on the surface, and the deeper we go, the older the rocks get, as we would naturally expect to be the case. On the moon, it's the other way around. Soil samples from the moon confirm that older rocks are on the surface, and they get younger the deeper we go. The only time we ever see this inverse relationship of rock layer depth to rock age on Earth is through human interaction, like drilling, digging holes, and boring tunnels. Did the same thing happen on the moon? If the moon was hollowed out from the inside, this older inner rock would be brought up to the surface, and this observation would make sense. The lunar crust is also thinner on the side of the moon facing the Earth and thicker on the dark side of the moon, and researchers still have no idea why. The moon doesn't have a magnetic field, much the same as other planets' moons, but strangely, moon rock samples are strongly magnetized. Craters on the moon are all virtually the same depth, no matter how big or small they are. On Earth, bigger craters naturally go much deeper than smaller ones, as the impact was greater. Not on the moon, almost like there's a solid layer underneath preventing the crater from going too deep. Moon rocks are also much older than the oldest rocks on Earth by millions of years, blowing the fission hypothesis and accretion theory out of the water. The moon contains traces of uranium-236, a radioactive isotope that doesn't occur naturally on Earth, but rather through the highly complicated scientific process of nuclear fission, something that only an intelligent species is capable of. Zirconium, chromium, and titanium are all relatively rare Earth metals, but are somehow quite abundant on the moon. Those three elements are also some of the most durable and corrosive resistant that we know of, perfect for building a massive structure. And they've even done quantifiable experiments that tell us that's exactly what the moon might be. When Apollo 12 was leaving the moon's orbit, they intentionally dropped their lunar lander down to the surface. When it crashed, seismic measurements showed that the moon reverberated and rang like a bell for an hour. They did not expect this. Only hollow objects are expected to reverb like this, especially with something as small as a lunar lander. During Apollo 13, they tested that again with a much larger object, dropping a spent Saturn V booster rocket that impacted the lunar surface. This time, the moon rang for 3 hours, with vibrations going as deep as 32 kilometers beneath the surface, and even got faster the deeper they got. This doesn't happen on Earth, or even solid objects for that matter, and again is only expected to occur on something hollow.
Beneath Istanbul.
Wow. I know that the moon and the sun are things that we take for granted and that are a bit hard to start to question. But when you look at, like the details that he was saying, the fact that it's tidally locked, the distance, the size, and all these things, it's very interesting. It often makes me think of, like when they talk about the hollow moon theory, it makes me think a lot about the Truman Show, where they're sitting inside the moon and sort of watching. There's also some theories of people saying that there's watchers, the fallen angels, and they would be in the moon. Personally, I have a hard time with that, but it's very interesting to see how we see it every day, in our sky. We sort of take it for granted, but really when you look at the details, it's really hard to explain away all these little details. Was there anything that we were missing in that list? Let me know down below. The moon is one of the things that amazes me. In this whole rabbit hole conspiracy, I find the moon is something that's very, very interesting to look into because it has theoretically nothing to do with human intervention. So when you're able to see something that doesn't seem to fit, but that is also natural, I find that super interesting. So if anyone has any more information about any anomalies regarding the moon, let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
Tunnels stretch for miles. Some connect directly to the Hagia Sophia, others to underground cisterns, chambers, vaults that feel less like cellars and more like cities. We are told they were dug by peasants, by hand, with chisels. just any random worker carving out perfect arches, domes, aqueducts. But anyone who's seen them knows better. These are not crude caverns. They are palaces in the dark. Smooth walls, symmetry, geometry. And this isn't unique to Istanbul. From Edinburgh to Cappadocia, from Poland to Mexico, underground cities repeat the same pattern. As if a civilization once lived below the surface, and we've been taught to call it myth. In Puebla, Mexico, locals whispered about tunnels. Stories passed down for centuries, only to be mocked as fairy tales, until 2015, when workers accidentally broke through. Suddenly, myth became fact. 10 kilometers of engineered tunnels, some wide enough for carriages, connecting forts and churches. Forgotten so completely, entire generations believed they never existed. Nearby, at Cholula, a hill rises topped by a Catholic church. But scan beneath and you find the largest pyramid on Earth. By volume, a pyramid crowned with a new religion, a cover-up carved into the landscape. So tell me, when a pyramid is called a hill and tunnels are dismissed as legend, what else has been buried, renamed, paved over? Were the tunnels truly forgotten, or were they deliberately erased?
This place is the weirdest place ever. Ever. I will die on that hill. You get there and you think this is the only one of these things. There are 12 perfectly carved buildings that are into the mountain. And just like in India, you cannot make a mistake, and there are none, like it was laser carved, which is ironic because these guys made it. We don't know who originally built it, we don't know where all the rubble from carving this stuff went, and we don't know what tool they used. All we have are clues from other ancient quarries like Japan. The oldest stuff on this planet uses whatever tool that was. The Inca call this style Hanampacha. You can see the stuff on Machu Picchu, and Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Dome of the Rock, the most holy place on Earth, right up the street from the oldest parts of Jordan where Petra is. This makes Petra nearly impossible to accurately date. This building was carved at the same time as this building, allegedly. The place is so heavily eroded, I had to put a line on every man-made cut on this part of the mountain. We don't know what this was. What was that used for? Even at the treasury, how do we know that this is not just a really eroded that? And here's why we don't know. Because under the main part, the treasury, there is a 2-story we don't know under it. Only 15% of this place has been excavated. You can still see the ones that haven't, but did you see the one up here? There's hundreds of these. I haven't even talked about the mysterious stuff. Jordan is an incredible place to visit. I make these videos because the more attention these sites get, the more they excavate. Punch the share button. Tell them we want to dig more.
Descend beneath Europe's churches and cathedrals. What do you find? Bones, thousands of them. Catacombs where human remains are arranged into geometric patterns, floral motifs, even walls of skulls. Official history explains it neatly. A practical way to store bodies when cemeteries overflowed. But pause. Does that explain the artistry? The deliberate design? The way skulls form archways and ribs frame altars? Or is there something ritualistic here? Something we're not meant to understand? The dead aren't just buried under the old world, they support it. They become part of its architecture. Why? What were these people remembering or honoring when they built monuments on top of fields of bone?
2 miles below Antarctica. Of course, we don't really know that much about Antarctica. It's a little bit strange, a little bit creepy. We know about the pyramid, like this is 100% true, and that strange like island similar to the island. Now, this is Lake Vostok, great picture I know. It's a hidden lake in Antarctica. In 2024, researchers were searching this lake. I mean, it was actually frozen in ice for like 200 years. They use sonar and scans to basically scan underneath the lake and under the ground in this entire area. Now, they discovered living bacteria, completely unknown to be able to survive in these conditions, but also completely unknown to science. Like, they had never seen these type of bacteria before, ever. These organisms surviving with no oxygen, no sunlight, and they don't even have any DNA to match anything on Earth's database that scientists have ever found. So scientists are saying this is the closest thing we could probably ever have to actual aliens. Not like an alien from a movie coming down from space, but something that we've never seen before and is completely unique. But there's a far scarier part, unfortunately. They found never seen before shapes and man-made structures 1,300 feet along the bottom of the sea. And the mission abruptly ended and no one's been allowed back since. So what the hell is going on?
Okay, you have got to see this video that China just released of a rocket launch they did. This looks like a boat skimming across the top of water, but in fact it's allegedly something going into space. Listen to this freaking video.
China recently released footage of the Tianzhao 9 scraping upon the firmament. Now, that statement that I just made, you probably think that I'm a little bit crazy, but just look at the comparison. The top video is literally a boat driving around on the water, and the ripple effects that it's creating is looking just like what the Tianzhao 9 is creating while it's flying around in the heavens above. Yeah, so Tianzhao quite literally translates to heavenly ship, and 9 is associated with the polarity in a torus field, Nikola Tesla's 369. It's really complex stuff. I honestly don't fully understand it, but 9 is the polarity, which would be Polaris in the torus field that we live on, called Earth. Yeah, so the rocket is scraping on the firmament, and they're quite literally telling us with the name of the ship itself. And if you don't believe me, literally look at the trajectory of the rocket. It's following an arched trajectory.
The reason they may be hiding from us the truth about the nature of our reality and space and all that is because if we weren't on a spinning ball that came from a giant explosion called the Big Bang, then we were definitely created. That would throw apart the whole Darwinism, would be decimated. Darwinism wouldn't exist. Evolution wouldn't exist. No one would be talking about it. If we were on a different, let's just say, in a different realm, put it that way, than flying on a spinning ball. I mean, it's just true. So that's why they're hiding potentials of this. And listen, forget everything I just said. Just know NASA is to deceive. NASA is, you got to dig into the whole history of them and how much they get caught lying, and their green screens in their swimming pools and their training grounds and all that. It's absolutely shocking. It's riddled with inconsistencies. There is something being hidden from us 100%, and we shouldn't trust this agency that's been caught lying on telling us the nature of our reality and what we live on in galaxies and all that. So keep your head vigilant. We'll discuss more about this. Comment for part 2 and follow for more.
Nobody made. I can't really approve the whole message, but what I can say is for the budget that NASA has had for the past forever, the past 70 years, which, if I'm not mistaken, revolves around $50 million a day, then I find that the information that they give us is very lacking. You know, like, we went to the moon, we put down flags, but yet we can't have any pictures of the flags. That's without saying that we never went back to the moon. So many things lacking. Even the pictures that they sent us, supposedly 3i Atlas was pictured by amateur people. It wasn't given us to us by NASA. There's a lot of, like he was saying, the training in the water pools, the CGI, the blue screens. It's a very big rabbit hole. I'm gonna put a bit of a few videos here and there in every video so that we could start holding on to that information and try to make some conclusions eventually. What do you guys think about NASA, space exploration, the Big Bang? Do you guys think that the official narrative makes sense and that there's really nothing that we should be questioning? Or do you guys think that for $52 million a day or whatnot, NASA is not really cutting it, not really making the world a better place, not really giving us valid information? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
You feel tense. Nobody makes you feel upset. You always decide how you're going to feel. Blame is the core of all negative emotions. When you stop blaming, you cut down the negative emotion tree. You cut it off, you kill it, and all the negative emotions die simultaneously. The conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time. It's the thought that the conscious mind holds that determines how the emotions will react, how the subconscious mind will react. Since it can only hold one thought at a time, what you do is you knock out the thought that is causing the negative emotion, the blame thought, and you replace it with this affirmation: I am responsible. This is the most powerful, positive affirmation you can use, because the instant that you say, I am responsible, you exert complete control over your emotional life. The instant you say, I am responsible, suddenly you are back in the driver's seat.
A lot of y'all think it's just only McDonald's, but it's Burger King too. Check this out.
Tell me why the fuck this thing just fell out of my Burger King and is now fucking moving on its own. What in the actual fuck?
Y'all, what is that? What is that? I have never seen this thing in my actual life. What is that? Why does it move like a balloon with water in it? It doesn't even have a head. Where is the head? Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King, home of the Whopper. Come inside and let us serve you. Have it your way. I'm glad you all could make it. Are you ready for your daily feeding? Lunchtime has arrived. Once you try this burger, you will not be able to resist the craving for more. People always wonder, how do we get so much beef to feed all of these people? You love it. You need it. Come get some now. Look at you. You can't resist my food. You love it. Every greasy bite. Goodbye for now.
And it's crazy how people see these videos and they still go back to these places. So if they don't have enough meat for the food, what are they feeding you? Because what is that? It's a headless type of worm, bacteria, virus. I have no idea what it is. Let me know down in the comments below what this is, y'all. The shift is here. Y'all need to change our diet. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. And don't forget, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell if you're riding the wave, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay weird, stay critical. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace.
What y'all think, but now's the time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up, making a change from living this strange.